Hello and welcome to Rock Studios. My name is Gurvin, and here with me today in our Singapore office is James Prestwood. He is an industry analyst for industrials and manufacturing at ABI Research. Hi James, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So let's dive right into the first question.
I'm good.
So from a digital maturity perspective in manufacturing today, how does it look across Asia Pacific, which is such a heterogeneous region? You have different maturity levels from the likes of China to Vietnam and Japan.
Yeah, we really see the main bastions, so to say, of digital technology maturity when it comes to manufacturing of being China, Japan and the South Korean markets. Whilst there's still a lot of opportunity for these countries and markets to develop their manufacturing operations and really adopt more high-level Industry 4.0 solutions, we really feel that the ASEAN and Southeast Asian areas hold a really strong opportunity. And I think this is mirrored across multiple manufacturers, but then also tech markets and system integrators. For example, in the major Southeast Asian manufacturing countries, less than 10% of factories have any Industry 4.0 kind of deployment. And with our forecasting at ABI Research, we expect this to significantly increase, particularly when you've got so much investment from governments into regional policies. So you have the tax breaks in Thailand, you have Malaysia's digital infrastructure investment funds, so kind of supporting manufacturers to adopt new technologies, and that creates this really kind of fertile breeding ground for innovation and solutions. Finally, kind of speaking to that, the China Plus One strategy that a lot of manufacturers are implementing, this allows countries that otherwise maybe wouldn't receive such like inbound flows of technology innovation to learn the best practices from some of the largest manufacturers in the world, and that kind of creates a much more robust technology savvy workforce that's ready to kind of go out and work for more regional and local manufacturers and really kind of build and spread that innovation among those countries. I think Japan is facing a challenge which many Western countries, especially the US, facing, where the changing labor demographics are causing, driving most of the change which we're likely to see with technology adoption. Elements of automation, especially AI, is going to be essential for those manufacturing practices to make that transition as that large retirement labor force kind of starts leaving. It will be essential to capture that knowledge and retransfer that down and kind of really close the loop on those good best practices in manufacturing and technology adoption. So I think that's going to be the real difference and driver for that market. I think for artificial intelligence, companies really need to ensure that they're well positioned with their organizational architecture and technology architecture to be able to really effectively leverage that technology. If you haven't got kind of clean data and effective storage, you're never going to really be able to develop these high-level use cases.
The fundamentals be there.
Exactly. So I think the initial use cases that we're seeing most common are kind of data analytics, predictive maintenance. Something that's been quite popular amongst many technology vendors has been kind of frontline co-pilots, being able to really support manufacturing like workers on the factory floor and kind of allow AI to start to develop as this kind of like second sense usage for them. Whereas maybe some of the higher use cases like that predictive maintenance only gets relegated to kind of part of the workforce. But there's still a long way to go with the adoption, getting all the ducks in a row to deploy those solutions. The common phrase is garbage in, garbage out. If you haven't got the data architecture set up to use it, you're not in a place. So that leading back to our initial kind of opening comment, that serves these more advanced and digitally mature manufacturing countries like China, Japan, South Korea, and leaves a little bit more runway for Southeast Asian countries to kind of set up their technology and innovation to put them in the place to be able to leverage that technology further down the line.
Okay. And while there is AI, everyone's talking about it, there's a lot of other manufacturing technologies that have been around for many, many years and are already being used by the more, mature companies. But let's talk about some of them. Example, like manufacturing execution systems. How do you see that being something that is essential for the shop floor?
Yeah, I really see MES as critical and core to many companies' digital transformation projects. Without that central automation feature, being able to track what's actually going on in your manufacturing shop floor, it's very hard to implement these other kind of higher level Industry 4.0 deployments. It's something that I think a lot of manufacturing technology vendors are starting to develop solutions that could be used by SMB manufacturers. MES has become much more of a flexible solution in recent years. It's not something that can still only be relegated to enterprise grade deployments. And I think that's something that's really valuable and has a lot of opportunity for these ASEAN manufacturers. I know Plex is a great example of one of those more flexible solutions that smaller manufacturers can make a lot of use of and really start their digital transformation journey and build that core out.
And I think the thing with Plex is that it is cloud. So that is something that certain manufacturers might have some worries over in terms of security or the fact that it's not on-prem. What would you say to this development of that whole cloud solution coming up more and more in manufacturing?
So obviously many manufacturers, depending on the industry vertical, are going to have different security concerns about how their data is being leveraged and transferred to the cloud. I think the majority of the market has got to a place where they understand the benefits of cloud and SaaS, and it's more about the way that the solution fits with a company's existing architecture. Modernization of manufacturing practices is just going to be essential to compete. And I think companies that remain overly resistant to adopting these more flexible SaaS-based technologies are only going to struggle in the future to leverage the higher grade deployments which can start setting them apart. The AI being the great example. If you have siloed on-prem data kind of all over the place, different plants, but even the case where the person who manages that has just left the company, you don't have the access to that data, this just slows down everything and it creates disenfranchisement with the entire innovation process and often kind of slows adoption. So I think cloud and SaaS is the real baseline for companies to be able to really begin engaging with that digital transformation process and building those digital threads which are so critical to moving to that next kind of stage of manufacturing technology and production processes.
Okay, well, this has been very insightful, so thank you, James, for joining us.